We have seen that intersection of two subgroups will be a subgroup, but the same thing we cannot say about the union. Then we have imposed some condition on union of two subgroups so that it becomes a subgroup. So the theorem states that let H, K be two subgroups of G. Then H union K will also be a subgroup if and only if either H is a subset of K or K is a subset of H. That means if one of these happens, that is if one of the subgroup is subset of another one, then we can say that H union K is a subgroup. So let's prove it. Let H union K is a subgroup. We are proving the if part first, that is the necessary part. H union K is a subgroup. Now we will prove that either H minus K or K minus H is empty. We will prove it by contradiction. Let, if possible, let both are non-empty. If possible, let both are non-empty. Then let some A belongs to H minus K and B belongs to K minus H. Now A belongs to H minus K, this will imply A belongs to H and A does not belongs to K, right? And this will imply B belongs to K, comma B does not belongs to H. That means whenever A belongs to H, we can say A belongs to H union K, and B belongs to K, that means we can say B belongs to H union K. So we find two elements A comma B, which are the elements of H union K, and we have know that H union K, we have taken that it's a subgroup, right? So we can apply the property that their composition A composition B will also belongs to H union K. This is number 1. Now A composition B belongs to H union K. That means it belongs to either H or K or both, right? So we are considering the first case. Let A composition B belongs to H. Okay. And together with this, A also belongs to H. We know that we have taken A from H. Now this will and again H is a subgroup. So this will imply A inverse composition A composition B, this will belongs to H by the property of subgroup. That means if you open the bracket A inverse A, it will be E. That means E composition B, this means against B. B belongs to H, which is a contradiction because we have taken B from K minus H. That means B does not belongs to H. So it's a contradiction. That means this assumption was wrong. A composition B does not belongs to H. Now as it is belongs to H union K, that means this must belongs to K. So let A composition B belongs to K. Now again B is also a member of K and K is a subgroup. So we can write A composition B inverse belongs to K. Again open the bracket, it will be A composition E. This is equals A. This belongs to K. Again we arrive at a contradiction. That is A, we have taken A from H minus K. That is A does not belongs to K. So this assumption is also wrong. So A composition B cannot belongs to H union K. That means we arrive at a contradiction. So our previous assumption was wrong. What we assumed previously, we have taken that both H minus K and K minus H is non-empty, which is wrong. That means at least one of H minus K or k minus h is empty. So either in any case, that is either h minus k is empty or k minus h is empty. In any case, either h subset of k or k subset of h. So this proves the necessary part of the theorem. Now we will prove the sufficient part. There is nothing to prove. Conversely, let h subset of k or k subset of h. Now if h subset of k, then what will be the value of h union k? It will be k. And if k subset of h, the value of h union k will be h. Now in any case, if this is true, then k is a subgroup, so h union k is also a subgroup. And if this is true, then h is a subgroup, so h union k is also a subgroup. So in any case, h union k is a subgroup of G. So for being the union of two subgroups to become a subgroup, the condition is one of the subgroup will be a subset of another. Then we can say their union will be a subgroup of the given group. Next, product of two subgroups. Next theorem, let h comma k be two subgroup of G. Let h comma k be two subgroup of G. Then hk will be a subgroup. H comma k will be a subgroup if and only if hk equals kh. If and only if hk equals kh. So before proving the theorem, we have to know what will be the elements of hk. That is hk, how it will look like. What is our hk? Hk means product of the elements of h and k. So its element will look like hk such that h belongs to h, comma k belongs to k. Similarly for kh, it will look like some k into h such that k belongs to h, comma h belongs to, k belongs to k and h belongs to h. That means we are taking one element from h and one element from k and finding their composition. Then this will belongs to hk. Similarly for kh. Now if these two are same, then we can say that hk will be a subgroup. So let's prove it. Proving the necessary part, let hk is a subgroup of G. We have to prove hk and kh are same. Now two groups are, we have to prove two sets are same. Hk is a set and kh is a set. So we will prove one is subset of another. Let some x belongs to hk. Now hk is a subgroup. That means x inverse will also belongs to hk. Okay. Then x inverse will of the form some h1 k1 where h1 belongs to h and k1 belongs to k. Right? Now taking inverse on both sides, this will be x and this will be h1 k1 its whole inverse. That means k1 inverse h1 inverse. Now k1 inverse belongs to k as k is a subgroup, and h1 inverse also belongs to h because as h is a subgroup. So this quantity will belongs to kh. Now we have started with h belongs to hk, x belongs to hk, and we find that x belongs to kh. So from here we can conclude hk is a subset of kh. Similarly, we can show that kh is also a subgroup of hk. So from these two we can conclude that hk equals kh. So the first part is proved. Now we have to prove the converse part. For the converse part, let hk and kh are same. Let hk equals kh. Okay. We have to prove that hk is a subgroup. So let's take some p belongs to hk and some Q belongs to HK, P and Q be two elements of our HK, then P will look like some H3, K3, where H3 belongs to H and K3 belongs to K, and Q also look like some H4, K4, where H4 belongs to H and K4 belongs to K. Okay, we will check for P composition Q. If it belongs to HK, then the first condition is proved. So P composition Q, that means H3, K3, H4, K4. We can exchange the bracket, that means we can write it as H4, right? This is K4. Now check this one. This is K3H4. K3H4. That means elements of K, elements of H. That is, it can belongs to KH, and again we have known that HK and KH are same. That means this is equals to HK. This also belongs to HK. So we can write it as some H5, K5, as it's a member of HK. So H5, K5, that means it will be H3, H5 into K5, K4. Now this quantity belongs to H and this quantity belongs to K. So the whole quantity will belongs to HK. So we have taken P comma Q belongs to HK, P comma Q belongs to HK, and we found that P composition Q belongs to HK. So one condition for being a subgroup is satisfied. Now we have to check what about P inverse. Okay. So P inverse. P means H3, K3. Its inverse. So it will be K3 inverse, H3 inverse. Now K3 inverse belongs to K and H3 inverse belongs to H. That means this quantity belongs to KH. And KH equals HK. So P inverse also belongs to HK. That means HK is a subgroup of G. This proves the converse part also. That is, HK is a subgroup of G if and only if HK equals KH. Next is another formula, how we find the order of HK. Order of the subgroup HK is defined as order of H into order of K divided by the divided by the order of the intersection subgroup, that is H intersection K. We will use this formula to solve problems and to find the order of particular HK subgroups.